Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Net Profits Podcast, Episode 3. We got Mike Dog over here.
Hello, everyone.
I'm Joe. We'll be going over some of our thoughts on the first round. Do some where were they coworkers, and
Oh,
then
that's
gonna
right.
be kind of maybe doing some predictions, doing some I don't know, yeah, just some thoughts on the upcoming series.
Yeah, should be fun.
All right, Mike. Well, since you did it to me last time, now I got some questions for you.
Oh boy,
Oh yeah,
I did.
bet you didn't see that coming. We didn't talk about
I
that, did we? Did
no,
we?
I did not see this coming at all. This is hilarious.
All
Okay,
right. Well, first one, rather deep question, Mike. Take it wherever you want to go.
okay.
Just want to know, like, why do you love basketball? Was it an event? Was it a video game? A player? A team? Family member? Like, what? Why do you love basketball?
I think for me, it's just playing it. I grew up playing it. I think I started when I turned 7, and I didn't even watch the NBA until I got to about 11. I was strictly just like college ball and just hooping as a 7-year-old, right? And I just loved it. I loved throwing the ball in the hoop. I loved running around. I liked playing defense. Uh, as time went on, I discovered the NBA, and then I loved seeing the athletes, the best players in the world, play what, in my opinion, is the best sport in the world. I love it so much, and yeah, I just think just playing it from a young age. My dad had me play it, and he didn't like force it on me. It just became my favorite. I played other sports. Basketball rose to the top.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. All right. So, all right. Who's your favorite player and why?
Uh, it's LeBron. Everyone can, say what you want about that. Well, when you're an 11-year-old kid and, you discover the NBA, you gravitate towards, you know, some of the best players in the game. I could have been a Kobe guy, but I think I just sort of saw LeBron first. I, uh, just couldn't believe it. He was a freak of nature. Even at that young of an age, I just knew that he was a special talent, like everyone did, and I loved to watch him. I wanted to root for him. I wanted him to get his first chip. I loved him coming to the Heat, even though a lot of people hated it. 11-year-old me didn't care about the Cleveland fans who were heartbroken. I was like, this is sick. He went to Miami, not 5, not 6, not 7. And as time's gone on, there are other reasons I've liked LeBron. I like what he does off the court, but I can't say that was what got me. It was his cool dunks, his flashiness, how good he was. That's honestly what it was, being an 11-year-old.
Yeah, and they're just so. I mean, that team was so polarizing. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
just, I mean, for no reason, because everybody's just gonna form their opinions or whatever. I mean, I was just like anti that Heat team. I was like rooting for the Thunder, and then I was rooting for the Spurs. I was rooting for the Mavs. Like whoever was playing the Heat in those series, it was like I was rooting for that team. So it's just that was the coolest part. Is you were either gonna love them or you were gonna hate them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, so I guess ties into who's your favorite team?
Miami Heat. Miami Heat, my favorite team. I found them when LeBron was there, but I'm sticking with them. They're my team.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. All right, you could pick any two players in NBA history to have a one-on-one game. Who would those two players be? Any era, any setting, whatever rules you want.
Oh, okay. There are so many good options. But if I'm being honest, what I think I would want to see the most is MJ versus Kobe. Those are, I think, the two best one-on-one players to ever play. So I want to know who'd come out on top.
Yeah, plus Kobe's got all MJ's moves,
Yeah.
as MJ said himself.
Uh huh.
All right, so those are some questions from Mike Dye. You pulled that on me last week, so I had to
Mm-hmm.
run it back. He didn't see that coming. He didn't
Yeah,
see that
last week.
coming.
It might have been last month, but you know.
Now, same thing, same thing. All right. So we're gonna get into the series that just happened from round one. We're gonna start it off with the Heat Bucks. Mike, you're a Heat fan. I'm gonna let you take the floor on this one.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say besides Jimmy's that dude. Everyone will say that he did it alone, and he kind of did. He did like half of it alone, but there were some other players that stepped up. Gabe Vincent in Game 5 hit a three that when they were down 4 with like 10 seconds left to cut it to 1, that gave the Heat the chance to come back. So there were some role players that stepped up, but Jimmy is insane. It This is now the second series he's played against Giannis and the Bucks, and he has outplayed Giannis. That's wild because Giannis is a two-time MVP, Finals MVP, and Jimmy Butler's outplayed him twice. So it was crazy. I couldn't even believe it. I was watching it.
Is that 4 years in a row, or did they skip one of those
They
years?
skipped one of the years. Yeah. Last year the Bucks lost to the Celtics.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Hmm.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about how valuable I thought Kevin Love was as far as like he's just giving him great minutes. I noticed that right away watching the series that it just kind of felt like when Kevin Love was on the floor, that offense had another gear to it. And it didn't
Hmm.
just, I mean, the whole series was Jimmy Butler centric, don't get me wrong. But Kevin Love, I feel like, was giving other players an opportunity to get open shots, just keep that offense flowing when Jimmy needed a break, you know?
Oh yeah, his outlet passes are still elite. Jimmy Butler had at least two or three where he would just get out ahead. Kevin Love would throw it up to him, easy lay in. I'll be honest, I was excited when Kevin Love signed. Then he played like the first 5 games, and I was not excited. And now I'm excited again. He's played very well these playoffs, and I'm really happy he's on the team.
Yeah, it's tough when you find yourself on a team that late in the season
Hmm.
and you're trying to. I mean, like they all have their roles set. They've all been playing a certain style of basketball. And then now you have to add Kevin Love, and Kevin Love is a Hall of Fame player, so he will work it out. But
Hmm.
it's just that it's that tough part getting acclimated late. One player that I wanted to spotlight, along on the same lines of Gabe Vincent in Game Five, um, Caleb Martin at the end of Game Four, right?
Oh yeah.
The Bucks, like it's great as Jimmy had been that entire game. He ended up finishing the game with 56, 9, and 2. The Bucks at the end of the game had retaken the momentum and looked like they had a chance to end up stealing this game away after what was a legendary Jimmy Butler performance. And from the 4:18 mark on, Caleb Smith had a defensive rebound, 2 free throws, an offensive rebound, put back that offensive rebound for 2 points, hit a 3-pointer, and another defensive rebound. 7 points, 3 rebounds in the last 4 minutes of the game. And if I'm not mistaken, he also had a save where the ball was going out of bounds
I think
and
you're
he
right.
and he got them another possession.
Yeah. And one of those threes was on Giannis, and he hit Giannis with like this, celebrate this, like he just did this to him as he was running back on defense. That was insane. That's Caleb. Caleb Martin did that to Giannis.
It was sick, and I did like. Don't you feel like Jimmy just gives them that confidence?
Oh yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
oh, Giannis who? Like,
Exactly. Yeah, they all think that. It's crazy. Yeah, you got people like Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent that most people probably don't know, and they're attacking Giannis, saying, "No, this is the guy that people should be saying nothing about." It's crazy.
well, exactly. Yeah. So that series, while it didn't end up being great, kind of a little bit funky.
It was great for me.
The Heat still beat the Bucks 2 times with Giannis. So say what you want, Giannis still got beat twice, and I mean he at least appeared to be healthy. I mean 40-20 with
Yeah.
with a lower back contusion. I mean all respect, but I don't know. That was a great series. Another one that ended up being the exact same thing. Cavs Knicks. I thought the Cavs would take care of business in 5 or 6. They were a great team all year.
Hmm.
The Knicks end up taking care of them in 5 games. I just want to point to the Mavs letting Jalen Brunson go. Like how do you do that? It was the
That
same
was
thing
bad.
in last year's playoffs too. It wasn't like they had no basis off of what Jalen Brunson could be. Oh, Jalen Brunson's just a guy with some potential. No, he was doing the same thing last year. He could be the second ball handler with Luca, control the pace. Didn't matter in this series. They had one game where they sent double teams. They took him out of the rhythm a little bit. In game adjustments for game three. Bam, they were good to go. They they held the Cavs to under 100 points. 4 out of the 5 games. The one where they scored 100, they won. And under 32% from three in 3 out of the 5 games. The one game where they got in the 40s as a team, they won. And Mitchell Robinson just made Evan Mobley look pedestrian.
Yeah, the Knicks did what I thought the Cavs were going to do: win with incredible defense and like a certified playoff killer. I thought that it was going to be the Cavs defense that was insane all year, and then Donovan Mitchell. I thought he was going to probably be in for a huge playoffs, but no, I was wrong. It was Jalen Brunson, and the Knicks. They they played really well. Like yeah, they showed off all of Cleveland's flaws on the biggest stage. Like it was wild.
It's just crazy to think like what does Cleveland do? They just sent so many picks for Donovan Mitchell, and you're already saying you have your two building blocks in Mitchell and Mobley, and oh yeah, well Darius Garland too. That's your third. But how do you add to this team to create what should have been a team competing for the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yeah, yeah. Some things that I was seeing as I was scouring the internet. I saw people talking about how Jared Allen and Evan Mobley being there and not having like a really solid three man. Like they've got Darius Garland, they got Donovan Mitchell, but they're not amazing defenders, but they can score. Where and their two big men are amazing defenders. Probably not elite playmakers on the offensive end, and then they have a bunch of three guys who are either D guys or three guys. They don't have a three and D guy, and they need to figure that out. That would be because they have to throw someone out and say, well, now we're overpowered in offense, bad defense, or we have so much defense we're chucking up bricks. I don't really know what their solution is. I've seen trade Jared Allen talk. Uh, I don't know. It's a tough scenario when some of the other teams in the East seem so solidified, like the Celtics and the Bucks, even though they lost. But yeah, they're in an interesting situation, to say the least.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to compete in the East, you have to keep improving. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you even see with the Hawks in this next series we're going to get to right now, that Celtics Hawks series. It's like Trey Young was amazing the entire series,
Mm-hmm.
but when you don't put like you don't build a well-rounded enough roster, a team like the Celtics is just going to have their way with the Hawks. So even if Donovan Mitchell played this elite series the entire way through, there's no saying the Knicks with the more well-rounded roster don't end up winning.
Yeah, yeah, you're very right about that.
So yeah, that was the interesting part about the Celtics Hawks series was there was just such a major talent disparity, and it still went to 6 games. Could have went to seven. The Hawks genuinely there was a path to victory for the Hawks. It wasn't likely, and they did everything they could, but still, like they gave themselves a chance. It was really cool.
They did. Yeah, the Hawks. I feel like just suffered from just they're not they weren't quite as good as they seemed on paper before the season, and they just never found their groove all season. Uh, they had a coaching change. That's always difficult. I feel like um, in the middle of a season, but getting 2 games off the Celtics, getting the 7 seed, I think they should be relatively. Hawks fans, I think, could be relatively happy with how the season went. Trey Young beat the most overrated player allegations, so you know, did you see that the survey
No,
that came out? There was I think a survey or something of like 100 something anonymous players, and Trey Young was voted the most overrated. And it was like, yeah, it was
man.
like right after he had a bad game too against the Celtics, or like one of the not as good ones, and then he popped off and beat them the next game. It was crazy.
That's so sad. I actually, could you imagine 100 players do a
Yeah,
survey and they vote? Like it wasn't the media, it wasn't fans, just some random
I
poll on
think it was
Twitter or
players.
something.
I'll have to fact check that and double check, but I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah,
Man, that's
but
tough. Yeah, he
he
beat
beat the
him. He beat him.
allegations. So yeah.
That's all that matters. Biggest takeaway from the Hawks series. All right, so
Uh,
next we're gonna switch over to Lakers Grizzlies, and that right there, that was a great series. Maybe not as far as all the games were concerned, but
mhm.
that was an awesome series.
Entertainment value is there for sure. It was every single game. There was just something afterward. Something was said. Something happened. It was fun.
Yeah, it was the when you go through and you look at all the games, the Lakers bench was really the key. If they had one guy go like mid double digits, you were sent like 15 points or so. Basically, it was like an automatic win. Except for the last game, that's the one exception
Hmm.
where the Lakers bench didn't do anything. But the Grizzlies starters who were playing in the 40s every single game, so the bench was kind of irrelevant anyways. None of them even had 20 points, so it was kind of a free win. But other than that, the Lakers bench is going to be the key to everything
Yeah,
going forward.
yeah, their bench is solid, and they just have such a solid defensive identity that they can still manage even if Anthony Davis is off the floor. They had some stretches against the Grizzlies where AD was off and it was bad, but near the end of the series when they were closing it out, they were doing a very good job. AD would be out for a few minutes, and instead of running, a three guard lineup, Ham adjusted. He put in like LeBron, Rui, and Wenyen Gabriel as the three big men,
Mhm.
and that was a lot. That was better than at least the three guards. They got more rebounds. Kept the Grizzlies off the offensive boards, and were still able to score on the offensive end. Yeah, their bench, Rui, all those other guys, they're going to be huge, especially for the upcoming series.
I mean, if Rui gives you 17 off the bench as your sixth man, what do you
Hmm.
do as the
Oh,
opposing team when they're that great of a defensive unit? LeBron's going to get his, AD's going to get his, and everybody else is just. It seems like everybody every game is able to do enough. D'Angelo Russell might have a game where he goes 4 for 13. He's out of rhythm after the game's over. He's upset, but then the
hmm,
next game
yeah,
he essentially is like kind of puts you over the top when your offense can't get anything going in that
hmm,
fourth quarter and hits those threes and bam, you're right back in it, and then the team's able to like push over the top, and it's going to be all about those guys around AD and LeBron because they're going to get theirs. So
it is. Yeah, one thing that as I watch the Grizzlies before we leave them, I feel like I do wonder what this series might have looked like had they had Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, because even without them, they were able to dominate the Lakers on the boards. And if they would have had two guys who are probably up there in their leading rebounders, that you just have to wonder. But injuries happen; they're a part of it. Grizzlies still they went out there, put up a fight. Ja Morant, uh, he's very good.
yeah, he had
Hot
22,
take.
22 straight in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, yeah,
That
that
was
was wild to
that
watch
was
too.
something
Yeah.
else. It was
Mm,
that same thing. We'll get into him next, but it was the same thing with kind of De'Aaron Fox. When
mm-hmm.
they want to get a bucket, there's nothing you can do to
Yeah.
stop them. I've never really seen anything like it. It's almost like like keep in mind, this is just we're making a wild comparison here. I'm not saying these dudes are the two best guards in the league or anything like that, but it almost feels like he gave like Russ Kyrie finishing ability, and
Mm-hmm.
now you got De'Aaron and Ja, and
Yeah.
that's scary. That's scary.
Yeah.
Right. So last but definitely not least, we got the one series that went to 7 games. That is the Warriors Kings. What you got on that, Mike?
This was a very fun series to watch. The games were just like the Lakers, very entertaining. There was some, off or not even off court antics. There was all sorts of stuff. There was trash talk. Things happened. Sabonis got stomped, but he kind of pulled him down first. So it was fun. I think the biggest thing is just the Warriors are not done. They're clearly not done. They're still very. Steph is probably the best he has ever been right now. He is. Um, it's incredible. It's almost like I don't know how I can't remember how old he is now compared to what LeBron was in 2018. But Steph, especially that game seven, he was willing. He was just willing the Warriors to the victory. He could be in for an incredible playoff run. Yeah, the Warriors, they're just not done. They're still around. Dynasty's not quite over yet.
No, that was. I'm going to be honest. Like I did watch the Kings play a solid amount this year, just because of how good of a team they were. I I just would not have thought the series was going to go 7 games. I would have thought the Warriors would rather handily take care of them in 5 or 6. And this was one of the best series I ever got to watch. I think with on just as far as the Steph thing goes, that series in 2019 where they went against the Raptors, you had Clay go out, you had KD go out, and then the Raptors start running a box and one, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can go and you can like look at those games, and Steph still had a major, major impact, even if his stats didn't look unreal. So, like, there is that he still was able to be very efficient and get his teammates open shots in those games, which is just as valuable as anything else. But now, I feel like because of those moments, the way he's been training lately is I am never going to allow a team to be able to take me out of the game. That's never going to be a thing again. They're not going to be able to use my size against me. They're not going to be able to use they're not going to be able to use the fact that I want that 3 point shot against me. I will get my buckets, and it's just now he is a complete all around 3 level scorer,
Oh
and it
yeah.
just gets shots any way he wants to throughout the entire game. Hey, how do you stop him?
He can get to the rim so easily. It was honestly a little mind blowing at times. I would watch, and just all of a sudden he'd be dribbling with the ball, and then he'd be at the rim, and I'd be like, oh, maybe the defender will block it. Nope, he just perfectly throws it over their hand, and it just like it just hits nothing but net. It's wild. I don't know how he does it, but he's just that good.
I mean, I know it's not. He doesn't actually do it like that, but even before the game, that must kind of be what he's practicing with those floaters up to the freaking top of the
Oh
stadium.
yeah, yeah,
Like he is just such an elite finisher, and he makes these off balance layups where he's being guarded just look so easy, so pedestrian. Just oh, everybody can do this.
hmm
um, the shout out to the Kings. De'Aaron Fox. He like essentially what the Warriors wanted to do this series, and you could tell from the very beginning was just give De'Aaron his open shots, give De'Aaron all the mid range he wants, all the 3 pointers that he wants, and we're gonna make De'Aaron Fox as a jump shooter beat us. And he said, "All right, I can
yeah,
do that."
yeah.
And I didn't necessarily go back and look at all the numbers just from watching the games. Outside of the last game, just absolutely banging threes
Yeah.
the entire series. Like open, not open, um, even in the game where Harrison Barnes missed that three to win it, John Morant hit a three in Draymond's face to put them in the position to win that.
You mean De'Aaron? You said
De'Aaron,
John
yep,
Morant.
yep. Because I was just going over that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox hits the three over Draymond
Yeah.
to freaking give them a chance to get a game winner. He was incredible that entire series.
Mr.
Their
Clutch at work.
guys off the bench were, oh my gosh. I unfortunately I do not remember his name, but his last name is Davis, and he was the guy they essentially brought in the end of the series to
I can't.
take over for
Is,
Davion Mitchell.
I'm not sure who it is. Is his name Terrence Davis? I can't remember either.
I don't know. It could be. Um,
Trey Lyles was good.
Trey Lyles was insane. Yeah, with Davis at the end, like Davion Mitchell just wasn't giving them enough on the offensive end, so they put this guy in. As far as I know, he had played like mostly in the G League this entire season,
Oh wow.
and he was amazing. He gave them a 3 point threat and was able to defend Steph until the last game, obviously, where
Yeah.
it just didn't work out. But I don't think that was on him at all. Nobody was stopping Steph that game. He was just getting
Oh
whatever he wanted.
yeah.
Trey Lyles is your like whenever you take Sabonis out, those lineups were working so well in the game 6 when because Sabonis was in foul trouble that entire
Mm-hmm.
game. He barely played, and so you had Lyles in that entire game, and he was just he was incredible. He's such a good shooter. Like that, their entire team is just awesome. Like I
Yeah.
wanted them to lose, obviously because I'm a Warriors fan, but that Kings team, they have such a bright future with De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. I
Oh
just
yeah.
yeah, I just think so highly of that team, and I truly, truly believe that if they could have beat the Warriors, I would have had this Lakers Kings series going to 7 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I could definitely see them, or I mean, I expect them to, make the playoffs again next year. So hopefully they don't fall off a cliff, but they should be 3 seed, taking the defending champs 7 games. They should be back in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Brown just seems like such a great coach. I mean, you could
Mm-hmm.
even see before the season started, there was good energy surrounding
Yeah,
Sacramento,
it
and
was.
the entire season it was are they legit? Are they legit? I don't think towards even like the bottom third of the season anybody was questioning the Kings
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I mean, they wanted to. I mean, when they were going to play the Warriors, I'm sure people were picking the Warriors against them, but that was no disrespect to the Kings.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that wrapped up what was an amazing, amazing first round. We got a 7 game series. Steph went off for 50, and we are now on to the second round. We have already had some games take place, just some updates. Miami and New York in a series right now. Miami beat New York in game 1. Boston and Philly just had their first game tonight. Philly beat them. And then I'm gonna check on this Denver. Nuggets game right now. All right, we got 86-81, 3 minutes to go in the fourth.
Oh wow, who's winning?
Denver.
Oh wow, and I when I checked like a little bit ago, Phoenix had been winning. So
So yeah, keep in mind with these second round matchups, we do have some information to base these off of, specifically with Boston and Philly, unfortunately, because it'd be pretty funny what I wrote on my notes. But all right, so for second round matchups, we're going to start off with Miami in New York. Miami obviously taking game one. Are they going to do it again, Mike? Are they going to beat the Knicks too, or is Miami going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, making a run at
uh
the finals?
yeah, give me Heat in six. You know I just I can't. I'm not gonna go against if Jimmy can beat the Bucks. I feel like he could beat the Knicks. The Knicks kind of had the Heat's number during the regular season, but we know by now the regular season is the regular season. It matters, but it also doesn't matter. It's like it's both. So I think the Heat can do it. I think Jimmy can do it. Him rolling his ankle scared me. I was a little scared, but as long as he plays and is looking good, I feel good about the Heat's chances because Kyle Lowry's been playing well. All their guys have stepped up. The depth of the Heat has finally come to fruition because of the injuries they had. So I'm taking Heat in six.
Heck yeah. I also have the Heat in six. I think their major issue would be Mitchell Robinson starting to dominate Bam on the boards.
Mm,
Even in game one, he had 14, 7 points, and the Heat won by 7, I believe.
mm.
Um, so I mean, even with that, like, what's Mitchell Robinson going to do? To have 20 boards, and
Yeah,
then they're going to start winning? It seems like
he is a
the
rim. He is a rim protector. There were a couple times Jimmy got inside, and you could kind of see him, pump fake a couple times trying to get Mitchell Robinson, and nothing was happening, so he had to kick it out. So his presence is definitely important, especially because Bam. You never know what you're going to get game to game in the playoffs with Bam.
no, you don't, which is terrifying because he really
Mm,
is a great player.
he is.
Yeah, the Knicks they have this one advantage over a lot of teams, right? And they got a dog, right? They got
Hmm.
Jalen Brunson,
They do.
a 6'1" dog. But the
Yep.
Heat, I mean, come on, we got Jimmy buckets over here. Like that's just neutralized
Yeah.
completely. And then now it's like the Knicks aren't going to be able to stop Jimmy Butler. I do think the Knicks are going to take a couple games. They're a great team, but yeah, I think that exact same thing. The Heat are just so deep, and I'm just not picking. I'm not picking against Jimmy Butler for New York for the Knicks. Just not.
Yeah,
Just
I feel
not.
the same way. Yeah, the Knicks they have the ability to do it. They have an incredible defense, and yeah, they have just straight killers, straight dogs, and they could do it. But with how good Miami's been playing, it's just hard for me to go against them.
Any other players on the Heat that you think need to just have a great series, or is it just going to be a collection of everybody having their games like last series?
I think it. I think it's a little bit of a collection. It would be nice if like either Duncan or Struess, like one of them would just catch like insane fire. Then I would really believe in this run because that's kind of what Duncan did in the 2020 bubble before
Mm-hmm.
the finals. He was popping off. So if one of them could get the 3-point shot consistently down, then that's what Jimmy will need to get into the paint more. It'll help spread the floor.
Got it. Got it. All right. So other the other Eastern Conference series, we got Boston and Philly. So game one tonight, James Harden had himself like a 45.6 assist clinic. I have in the notes that 6 years of history would tell me that Celtics are going to win this series, and unfortunately, with an unhealthy Joel Embiid, I fear this series might not be as good as it could have and should have been. I'm seeing this as a sweep. The only reason this would potentially not be a sweep, in my opinion, is if James Harden could go back to his Houston days, turn back the clock, and just run the game and just go at his own pace, does his ISO possessions. And that's exactly what Philly did.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
And they got their win. So I don't know. I mean, I had it going four, maybe a gentleman's sweep, but Joel Embiid comes back, we might have a series.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't I didn't see this game. I was watching the Mario movie, but great movie by the way. But yeah, you know, getting done and seeing that James Harden dropped 45 in the playoffs, that is give me flashbacks to not too long ago, just a few short years ago. It felt like that was happening all the time. Um, yeah, I would love to be able to pick the Sixers and like feel confident in it, but it's just so hard. Like, you know, I kind of want them to make conference finals finally. I want it to happen. I hope Joel Embiid comes back. But I think the Celtics are really good. I think they'll respond, um, and they'll tie it up. I think I'll go Celtics in six for this one.
That's going to win 4 of the next 5. This Celtics are just such a deep team. Like Brogdon coming off a bench. I mean, you can't ask for a better sixth man than that.
I do think that if Embiid comes back and if he plays as dominant and as well as he played in the regular season, then I see a scenario where, you know, even as good as Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are, Embiid could overpower them with the help of James Harden. It's just he hasn't quite shown that you know, his numbers get better in the postseason. They kind of usually take a step down. But we'll see. Maybe he'll come back. Hopefully this injury isn't too serious and he can come back and this will be a really good series. Or maybe it'll be a really good series anyways. James Harden will improve his legacy, beat the Celtics on his own.
I mean, that's that's how you improve your legacy
Yeah.
after everybody writes you off.
Mm-hmm.
And
That
he
could be.
truly, whether Joel Embiid returns or not, even more so obvious if he doesn't return.
Mm-hmm.
James Harden's the X factor in this series because if you're getting a James Harden that's putting up 30 points, 10 assists in these games. Joel Embiid comes back. He's playing like I'm pretty sure he's going to win MVP. I don't know if they've already
Mm-hmm.
named him that, but I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure
think
he's
they
going to
have
win.
yet.
Um, yeah, I mean, you probably got what's the MVP this year coming back. You should be able to make it happen. But I mean, Boston just kind of owns Philly,
Yeah.
and they just
Yeah.
they have as long as I can remember. Ever since Philly got good, it's always Boston knocking them out of the playoffs.
Yeah. It's wild, but it's the truth.
All right, so we're gonna take a trip on down west. Not too far though. We got Denver, Phoenix. It, before before this series started, I don't know that I could have quantified how big of a deal the Suns not having a bench was going to be.
Yeah. Um yeah. I don't even know who their bench is. I haven't watched enough of their playoff games.
Bismack Biyombo, Landry
Oh yeah,
Shamet, Damian
that's right.
Lee.
Oh, that's right.
So I mean, I like Landry Shamet he's fine. He's been in the league for a while. He can maybe give you a really solid game, but
There's the
they're
Landry
basically.
Shamet curse, though. Have you seen that?
I have
That
not.
like each of the last four teams he's been on in the postseason have lost in 7 games. I can't remember which all the teams but he was on like the Clippers like 4 years ago and they
Uh
lost in 7. Then
the
the
Sixers.
Nets, or yeah, the Sixers lost in 7. He lost with the Nets in 7 and 21. It's like a 4 year streak.
Oh
So
my gosh.
Suns are destined to lose in 7 is the thing. So
Well, we'll see if we
I
get
you know
we'll
I
see if
didn't
we get there.
yeah.
The Nuggets just they have such a deep roster, and with Jokic running the offense, it's like points are never going to be a problem for the Nuggets. It's going to be defense. But on the counterpart, it's like the Suns don't have enough people to score all those points. Even Kevin Durant, he is one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen. But he has always stated he gets his buckets in the flow of the game. And I
Hmm.
really believe that. He's really not looking to get 56 points in this game. I don't know, I'll take 34. And then
Yeah.
we'll see what everybody else can do. Chris Paul, I mean, he's clearly at the tail end of his career right now. Still a great player. But I think that those days of Chris Paul, even in those Houston Rockets series, just having these unbelievable games, they're looking like they're behind us.
He's not guarding Jamal Murray, is he? Is he guarding Jamal Murray when they're playing? Because if he is, I feel like that's a bad idea. Um, I hope it's someone else. I haven't. I didn't obviously watch tonight's, or I didn't watch it. I did watch part of the other game, but I can't
I'm
remember if
gonna
he was guarding him.
see who else would he be guarding on that starting five? Because I would
I
think
think
that
it's
he is.
KCP.
So, I mean, you would think that he's probably guarding KCP. I can't. I mean, because if he is guarding, I
Yeah.
mean, you would think they
Yeah.
would they would you would have gotten
You.
him off of Jamal
Yeah.
because
Okay.
Jamal went
Yeah.
off last game.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. The
um,
Nuggets. I think so. The Kings had the best offense in the NBA this year, but I feel like that was just like, but in terms of the number they did, but with when you got Jokic on your team and the weapons he's got, you just kind of know that their offense is incredible. Like it's not a stretch to say the Nuggets have the best offense in the league. They can get open shot after open shot. Um, and if they give it to Michael Porter, he'll take contested shot after contested shot and make them. But that's neither here nor there.
0 assists, baby.
Zero
Zero
assists.
assists.
Mr. Never Swing the Rock. Uh, but yeah, the Nuggets. Um, I was honestly, no, not surprised, but I kind of thought that Phoenix might, um, like be really prepared game one. I don't know, like just having the Kevin Durant, Booker, just come out and maybe steal game one. But Nuggets took care of business. They slowed them down and did their thing. So
Yeah,
they have a serious final shot. Which
I
is weird to say.
genuinely
It's 1 seed.
think that if I didn't start, like, if I didn't have the basis of the first game right now to go off of, I probably would have picked the Nuggets, or I would have picked the Suns. But now I'm gonna go Nuggets in 6.
I'm gonna. I guess I didn't settle on a number yet. Um, I'm I, I'm gonna say Nuggets in 7. I'll say Nuggets. I'll say they still do it. I would have. I think I also would have said Suns prior. And I feel like the Suns can still do it, but I'll say Nuggets.
I just don't think five guys can score enough points to. I don't think they can score enough points throughout the duration of an entire series to push it to 7 games. I just think they're going to be worn out. Yeah, I'm thinking 6 games, and I'm just kind of thinking those 2 games the Suns win. Just you got Booker, Kevin Durant, Ayton, Chris Paul, all having a really good game, and that's
Yeah,
the reason they're able to steal a couple. Other than that, I don't think they're not going to be able to keep up with the Nuggets. You can only score so many points with 5 guys.
it's true.
All right, and we got the series that I believe me and Mike Dog would both be most excited about. We got my team and we got his team. Well, his second team, I guess, but got lay breezy on the
Yeah, it
Lakers.
does. It
So
does got like breezy.
how lucky are we right now? We got Steph and LeBron part 5.
Yeah, it's awesome. I uh, I just hope for the sake of it. I hope LeBron looks a little better than he did in the Grizzlies series. There were times where he was starting to look a little bit like 38. I mean, obviously he was still dunking, but
I
and
know what you
going
mean.
crazy, but his shot was, he kind of couldn't get his long threes even to the rim. Almost, they were almost always short. Um, so I hope he's looking a little bit better. I hope that foot's feeling a little better. But I think we're in for a treat. Anthony Davis is playing some of the best basketball he has ever played on the defensive end. He's had a couple lackluster offensive games, but his defense right now, he's possibly been the best defensive player in the playoffs. Um, and obviously on the Warriors side, they have so many weapons, and the very first one is the guy that just dropped 50 in Game 7. They have the identity, they have the dynasty, the history. Uh, it's going to be a great series, but you know, I'm not going to go against my team. I'm gonna say I'll say Lakers in. Do I say 7? I'm gonna say Lakers in 6. I'm gonna say Lakers in 6. I just if they play if they play to the defensive capabilities they can, and not necessarily contain Curry, but just contain the offense, and and can get their offense going, they can do it. But we'll see. They could also lose.
So just some first impressions that I have. just seeing this, just seeing these matchups of these two teams that I've watched more than any other teams in the league. The big X factor to me, and not that the Lakers don't have any, obviously, but it's gonna check Jordan Poole, man.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
Jordan Poole in last, if you were going based off last year's playoffs, you would ask me, should they pay him? Absolutely. They
Hmm.
wouldn't have won the title without Jordan Poole last year. No questions asked. Um, so there's that. Is Kevon Looney going to be able to dominate the boards like he did against the Kings?
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't see it. I personally see Draymond Green coming back in. They could run that Steph, Clay, Wiggs, Draymond, Kevon Looney as I think they'll come out with that to start game one.
That would be I think if they don't even start with that, I think eventually that lineup will get thrown out because that's a very solid lineup that I think would cause even the Lakers some trouble. So
I'm just curious if they want to try to go back to small ball with Draymond being the five and then just try to make Anthony Davis and LeBron get back on defense all game.
yeah.
Just try to like do what the Kings did to them and just push the ball, push it, push it, push it, push it, and just make Anthony Davis get back on the other side of the court all game,
Hmm.
and just try to push the pace and punish the Lakers for like going big. Um, are like so the thing that gives me a little bit of hope in this series is that the Warriors beat the Kings, and
Hmm.
I gave my whole spiel on the Kings. The Kings are an excellent team. So that's one thing that gives me a lot of hope is that the Warriors could, in my opinion, just simply score too many points for the Lakers to keep up. I don't necessarily trust the Lakers shooting for an entire series. So I think the Warriors will get games that way. But as much as it hurts to say, when it comes down to it, I actually agree with your prediction.
Wow, really?
Yeah, we didn't talk about it beforehand or anything, but
That's actually I'm very
I
surprised.
also have Lakers in six. I don't
Wow.
want the Lakers to win. Make that very clear. I want the Warriors to win, but I think Anthony Davis is going to cause them some problems. I think Looney is going to come back to earth, even though, dude,
Oh,
shout out to Kevon Looney,
yeah.
just the goat. 320, but 320,
Wilt numbers, literally.
320 rebound games and 10 offensive rebounds in the game seven.
That's
Like,
crazy. That's wild.
dude, he was just on something else, and he was getting like almost double digit assists every game. He was just
Wow.
he was just on something else that last series.
Yeah.
So I'm not putting anything past Kevon Looney, but I think Anthony Davis is going to be too much for him. I think LeBron's going to be able to slow the game down. I think that they're going to have a great game plan to try to stop the Warriors. And I don't know, but who knows? You know,
Hmm.
Steph, Clay, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, if they're all playing like they were playing last year in the playoffs, I don't know how many teams in NBA history can keep up, but
Yeah.
I think that Anthony Davis wrinkle is just going to be too much. So, barring that they all stay healthy, both sides, I got Lakers in six.
Yeah. I think one thing for the Warriors that I think they can be hopeful for is that they get home court advantage. So they get the first two games at home. And, they proved that they can still win on the road. They won two road games last series, and one of them was game seven after being awful on the road. I think the first two games of this series are gonna be huge. Because I feel like the Warriors going up 2-0 really shifts the tides of things. It's like, who are you really, you know, come up, came back from 3-1 once, LeBron did on the Warriors, but if they get up 2-0 and, potentially 3-1 or 3-0 or something, I don't know if they'll come back. So being at home, playing as good as they did, or at least as Steph did game 7, but yeah, I think Jordan Poole is a big X factor for the Warriors, and I think D'Angelo Russell could be that for the Lakers because, as you said, he could get days where he's 4 for 13 and other days where he hits 6 or 7 threes. And the Lakers are going to need more of those second days if they want to get a win, just like the Warriors need Poole to not, just flail his way in on the court and turn the ball over or something. So
Well, the
it's
problem is,
I'm gonna be button couch every game though, and I'm gonna be watching every single moment, and I'm gonna be enjoying it. So I'm just it could be the last LeBron versus Steph series. So
yeah, if you're not excited for this, You don't love ball like that. If you're like, oh my gosh, another LeBron Steph series. This is so like, oh my god, like nobody in the '90s was saying that. Like it's just like I don't know. I like why do you not like rivalries?
Yeah,
Like this is
yeah, they're
the
fun.
best one. This is the two best players. I mean, LeBron, KD, and then like Steph
If it went
are
to
like the
seven
three best
games,
players
that
of our
would
center.
be so cool. Seeing a game seven, that'd be awesome.
LeBron, Steph, Game 7. I don't even know
Yeah.
if I can handle that. I'm gonna
Ah.
have to be finessing, dude. I'm gonna have to be finessing to catch all these games.
Oh yeah. God. I know.
I'm
I'm,
gonna
I'm I'm a
have
little lucky.
to.
I'll be able to see them all.
I'm gonna have to make some stuff happen. For sure, get to see Game 1. For sure, get to see Game 2,
Okay. Okay.
and then from there out, we'll see. We'll see what we're looking at. I'm
Man.
terrified. I'm terrified not being able to witness all the games.
Oh.
The nice thing is like when the games are on weekends, they come on earlier in the day,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so you might be able to just like catch one at noon,
It's true. Yeah.
and then
Sunday there's usually a game at 12:30.
hmm
So.
so yeah, I'm hoping I get to watch all these games because I think this even though I think the Lakers are going to win in 6, I don't think it's going to be like a dominating 6.
Oh
I
yeah.
think the Warriors or I think the Lakers are just going to prove that they are just like they're the better team. I think the Warriors have taken a bit of a step back this year, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see if Wiggins can get everything back together and he can get
Yeah,
flowing,
they
and
have
maybe
the
we can turn it
identity.
back. But
Yeah, they could. The Warriors have the championship DNA there. They still have a lot of the members from the team last year, so at least like the core of it. So it's there, and they can turn it on. Um, and just hopefully the Lakers keep playing how they're playing, and we just get two behemoths going at each other for an amazing 7 game series. Hopefully, it lives up to the hype. That's all I want.
yeah, freaking Steph at 35, LeBron at 38.
Yeah,
Just freaking going at it. It's like the
still
coolest
going.
part was like in those series, like you had these two up and coming teams, right? And you like they get to show like this is our league now.
Mm-hmm.
And Steph and LeBron were like, not yet,
Yeah, yeah,
kiddos.
yeah, yeah.
We gotta get one more in.
It was weird. Those two, the 2 and 3 seed, the Grizzlies and Kings. I've never been, more convinced that a 2 and 3 seed were going to lose than when I saw who they had to play. I was like, I mean,
That's fair.
if any year a 7 and 6 seed are going to lose, it'll be this year. Because that's Steph on one side, that's LeBron on the other. So, and Anthony, and then there are other guys, but so
Exactly. All right. Well,
enough glazing from us.
we are very very excited for the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah,
Should be back to be giving some more updates on how these series are going. But before we do that, we got another segment
we do.
of
Where were they coworkers? Let me get this set up. All right. Got to remember how I did this. All right.
oh baby. All right.
Let's see. Oh, let me get out of this. Where were they coworkers? Can you see the title page?
Yes, I can. I also
All
saw the
right.
next slide for the example.
That's all right. See example.
Wait,
I'm
put
gonna
it up.
go
Put it
through
up.
it
Put it
again.
up. Put it up. Put it.
Example: LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Lakers.
Answer would be that's right. It would be the Lakers.
Starting off hot. Starting off hot.
That was very well done. I have only 5 more for you again. I have no idea, if I'm being honest. That's a bad idea. What the difficulty is going to be like. So, I think it'll be. I think you should be able to get them all again.
Okay.
And we'll see. If not, they could. I could trick you in there. Hopefully I did, but I don't think they're like insanely difficult. We'll see. We'll see though.
All right. This is nerve wracking. I'm ready
Yeah, we'll
though.
see.
I'm ready.
All right, Paige. Let's get started. Up first is Ben Simmons and Dwight Howard.
Okay. Well,
I'm
thankfully on this one,
yeah, I'm realizing an error in my ways on this one, but
on this like specific one or all five?
just this one.
Just this one. Okay. Well, yeah. So it was your error that you didn't put Ben Simmons in a Nets jersey.
That would be my error. So what's your answer?
So through process of elimination here, Ben Simmons has played for two teams, right? and Dwight
Mhm.
Howard has not played for the Nets. So I'm going to say the Philadelphia 76ers.
That would be correct. That would be correct. All right, that one, I'm glad that was first, and I'm glad I messed up on that one because
Second
that one was
example
easy.
slide.
Yeah. All right. Up next is Shea Gilgis Alexander and Tobias Harris. Where were they
Oh
coworkers?
man. So got a friend, Nick Patrick. Nick Patrick doesn't watch a lot of basketball. Doesn't care for basketball that much. But he is a Clippers fan when the playoffs come around, and yeah, he
Probably the
loved.
worst time to be a Clippers fan.
Yeah, right now I'd have to say so.
I
But
just in the
back in the day,
playoffs. In the playoffs, it's the worst time to be the Clippers fan. You know.
okay, that's true. That's true. That's hilarious. I didn't even catch that on first go. But Shea back in the day was on that Clippers team, and that's when Nick was telling me how nice he was, and I believe that Mr. Tobias Harris was on that squad with him.
That is correct. That is correct. The Los Angeles Clippers is where they were coworkers. Up next, D'Angelo Russell and Jaleel Okafor.
Oh, oh wow. Okay,
Where were
this
they
is
coworkers?
this is a relatively tough one because I would say I don't actually know Julio Okafor's teams, but I believe that D'Angelo Russell was teammates with him on the Nets.
That is correct. They were teammates on the Brooklyn
Okay, I was
Nets.
nervous about that one. For some reason, I feel like it was gonna be like a Steven Adams situation where I forgot.
Yeah, when I was looking at it, I forgot Okafor played for the Nets. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
All right,
thankfully I just was pretty sure Russell did. So
well done. Up next, DeMar DeRozan and Pau Gasol.
DeMar DeRozan and Pau Gasol.
Where were they coworkers? DeMar DeRozan and Pau Gasol. I can't see your face during this, and I'm a little disappointed. I can't
Okay,
see
I'm
your
sorry.
thinking in
Well,
your
if
thought
you were
process.
looking, it'd be a rather confused look at the moment. Um, I'm just confused. Did DeMar DeRozan play for a third team that I don't remember him playing for? I don't think so. But I don't remember Pau Gasol being on the Raptors. Um. Oh, this is tough. Yeah, I'm gonna say the Raptors just because I don't have another guess, but I think I'm wrong, right?
That is incorrect. As I believe the first one you gotten wrong. They were on the Spurs together. Here's a photo of them and Lonzo Ball. Are you like mad at yourself? I can't see. Tell me what's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah, I'm mad at myself. It's
Uh,
embarrassing.
you
Okay.
want,
Yeah, I should have known that.
considering Lonzo's on the Lakers in this picture, I bet he missed that layup. All right, up next, I think it's the last one. We got Danny
Oh,
Green
that's
and
embarrassing.
Seth Curry.
Danny Green and Seth Curry.
Where were they coworkers?
Okay. Thinking again. Danny Green and
One day
Seth
we'll have a
Curry.
jingle.
Oh man. Where were they coworkers? I really have no idea. I'm gonna say
This
they
one
were
was last because I was
coworkers.
hoping it was hard.
Man, I can't believe I didn't get that last one. I'm mad about that. Obviously, yeah, DeMar DeRozan went to the freaking Spurs when he got traded for Kawhi. I don't know why I
That's
was thinking
true.
that he
That's
went
true.
from the. I don't know why I was thinking he went from the Raptors to the Bulls. Um,
Yeah, there was a solid like 5 years he played on the Spurs or something.
I am going to say that they were coworkers. I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna say the Lakers.
On the Lakers. That is also incorrect. They were coworkers on the Philadelphia 76ers. In fact, they were coworkers on the same team as
As
Ben
Dwight
Simmons
Howard and
and
Ben.
Dwight Howard. I picked four guys all from the same team.
Oh
So
my gosh.
that one though I figured would be tough. I was like, those are two kind of journeymen, Danny Green and Seth Curry. They have played on an assortment of teams, and it would be hard to keep it straight. But that's all I had. I'd say what was that? 3 out of 5. So I definitely did a little better at stumping you.
Yeah, I don't think I would have gotten that last one. I don't think there was any scenario in which I got that last one. Catch me like an hour before, an hour after, 15 minutes before, like whatever. I would have probably gotten the DeMar DeRozan one. I can't believe
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
one was
whole
a thing.
era of him on the Spurs was just like so forgettable.
Yeah, yeah, they made the playoffs like once or twice. Took the Nuggets to Game 7 one time. I remember that. Yeah, other than that, it was pretty forgettable. So that's why he left. He went to the Bulls. So yeah, that one, that one,
That's
I
disappointing.
changed that one. I had a list of five, and I didn't like. I can't remember what the other matchup I had was. It was like it was Terrence Ross and Michael Carter Williams. Was who I was like what one of them was going to be. What team do you think they
Is that
played?
Magic?
That is the Magic, yeah. So I was like, I feel like that one might be a little too easy. So I swapped it out and I looked for teams. I just like went to 2018-19 season, went to the Spurs. They caught my eye, and I was like, oh, you know what? DeMar DeRozan, Pau Gasol. That's you know, and they both have played for the Bulls, so you could mess it up.
See that was the reason. And then in my head, I was like, okay, well, Mike said that he messed up when he put Ben
Mm-hmm.
Simmons in the Philly jersey. So obviously, it's not the Bulls. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had DeMar DeRozan in a Bulls
Yes.
jersey.
Yeah. I don't. I try to put a different like the like different than the team it is. And I messed up on Ben Simmons. He should have been in a Nets jersey.
Well,
But
the
no,
rest
I
of my
think that was
night's
pretty well.
ruined, but it's all good, dude. That was a fun game. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But dang,
overall,
man, I'm
overall, you're
actually
8 for 10 though, so that's 80%.
should be 9. Should be 9. It's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good, dude. I'm just,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just, I'm just a slightly above average.
Oh well.
Yeah.
There's always next episode.
Always next episode. Dang. All right. Well, Mike, you got anything else?
Uh, no.
All right. Well, that is the conclusion of the third episode of Net Profits. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great day.
Bye bye.